Hey guys, so I wanted to make a video on how to use the calculator on the GED test. So if you're familiar with the calculator, you can obviously ignore this, but knowing how to use the calculator and what the buttons do can save you a lot of time on the GED test. So today we're just going to talk about fractions, and there's a lot of things you can do with the calculator, but this is just what we're focusing on for this video. So if you want to put fractions into your calculator, you use this button right here, this N over D button. And so N over D is what we use if we've got a regular fraction like 4 over 7. And so what you do, you hit that N over D button first, and then you type your top number of your fraction. So in this case, it would be 7, or 4, my bad, 4. And then we go to this circle of buttons over here, and we hit the down arrow to move down the fraction. Then you type your bottom number, and then we're going to type our right arrow to move over to get out of the fraction. Because if we don't do that, no matter what we type, it'll stay at the bottom of the fraction, so always make sure that you hit that right arrow over. And then we are dividing, so we're going to hit our division symbol. And what are we dividing by? We're dividing by 6 1/3. So 6 1/3 is a mixed number. So it's a big number with a fraction stuck to it. And the way that we put that into our calculator, we hit this green second button, and then we hit the fraction button. So the fraction button by itself just makes a regular fraction, 4 over 7, 1/3, 2/5. But if we want to put a mixed number, we hit the second button and then the fraction button. So when we're putting mixed numbers into our calculator, we always type our biggest number first, and then we're going to hit our right arrow over, and that takes us to the top button, or the top number. So I'm going to put 1 for my top number. I'm going to hit my down arrow, and then put my bottom number, my 3, and then I'm going to hit the right arrow again over. And so now I'm ready to actually solve what this problem is. So 4/7 divided by 6 1/3 is 12 over 133. So that's my answer, 12 over 133. Now we're going to do this problem. So this one, both of these are mixed numbers. So instead of just hitting the fraction button, we're going to hit second and then the fraction button. So we type our big number first. We hit our right arrow over, top number, down arrow, bottom number, and we hit our right arrow over again, and then we are multiplying in this case. So we're going to hit the times button, and then we're going to turn on the mixed number setting again. So we're going to hit second, N over D, type our big number, over, top number, down, our bottom number, and then over again. And we're going to hit enter. And when we do this, we get 85 over 3. So this kind of fraction is an improper fraction. The top number is not supposed to be bigger than the bottom number. So what we do, we have to reduce this. And it's really easy to do this on the calculator. You just hit second, and then hit this X10N button and hit enter. And so that changes this to 28 1/3. Now, sometimes they will ask you to turn fractions into decimals, or vice versa. They might ask you to turn a decimal into a fraction, and it's really easy to do that as well on the calculator. So let's say they want us to turn 3 4/5 into a decimal. So we've got a mixed number here, so I have to hit the second and then the fraction key so I can make sure I type everything in. So remember, we type our big number first, hit our right arrow over, top number, down arrow, then bottom number, and then we're going to hit our right arrow over. And so we want this to be a decimal. So the way that we do that, see this F arrow D? So this function is how you turn a fraction into a decimal or a decimal into a fraction. So I'm going to hit second and then the table button and hit enter. So this is the same as 3.8 as a decimal. So let's try this again with the number 8 3/5. So same thing, I'm going to hit second N over D, and then I have 8 over 3 down 5, and then over again, and then I'm going to hit second and table, and then enter. So this is 8.6 as a decimal. But let's say that I want to change a decimal into a fraction. So if you do that, you type your decimal first, and then we'd actually do the exact same thing. You hit second, table, enter, and it gives us 9 over 40. Now let's say that I had this as a fraction. Let's say that I have 100. Sorry about this. I have 192 over 5. And I want to turn this into a mixed number. So I hit my regular fraction button. I type my top number, hit the down arrow, type my bottom number, and then my right arrow. And then remember to go from mixed numbers to improper fractions and vice versa. We go second, x10n, and we hit enter. So we end up getting 38 2/5. And so a lot of the times when you get an answer with the calculator, you are going to get an improper fraction. And the improper fraction is more than likely not going to be one of the choices in the multiple choice. So always make sure that you turn your improper fractions into a mixed number. Or if they need you to turn it into a decimal, turn it into a decimal. And I've shown you how to do that. So that's it for this. I hope that this helps you as you're working with the calculator. And I'll be making some more of these on the different things that the calculator can do, exponents, square roots, that kind of thing. But this is just an introduction to fractions, so I hope that this helped you out, and I hope you have a great day.